The surprise release of Die With A Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars took the world by storm. The comeback single of both artists, which have won together an astonishing 28 Grammys over their careers so far, is getting praised by critics as well as gaining commercial success and is on its way to become an instant classic. With the song sonically best categorized to the genre of 1970s soft rock, also came a colorful music video with a unique retro aesthetic. But what are the music video and song actually about? And why is there more depth to it than seems to meet the eye? Here are 5 things you likely missed in the music video of one of the biggest collaborations of the year in this episode of Pop Explained. Number 1. Dolly Parton and Wagoner reference. The setting of the video displays a vintage television studio where the duo performs with their band in the background on different circular platforms, while surrounded by faceless mannequins behind the cameras and sitting on chairs. Mars strums a guitar while rocking a cowboy hat, whereas Gaga plays the piano smoking with extravagant hair and eye makeup, as both artists wear matching blue outfits with red accents evoking Western Americana fashion. The whole color scheme, interior, furniture and fashion strongly resembles television shows from the late 1960s and 1970s. It references one show in particular, the Wagoner show, which aired its first show back in 1960 and spanned over 2 decades. Porter was a popular American country singer that collaborated on numerous hits with Dolly Parton and therefore performed multiple times with the songstress on the show together. While Dolly was already back then famous for her voluminous blonde hair that Gaga channels in the music video, Porter was known for his flashy suits, resembling the outfits Mars and Gaga are wearing. One of Porter's looks from 1967 seems to be referenced in the video in particular, as the color scheme and embellishments are nearly identical. Number 2. The clocks. In the first part of the music video, we see some frames of the inside of the production control room. As you look closer through the room, the red sign on the air can be seen, indicating the recording of the performance. Through the window of the control room, the TV show set with Mars and Gaga can be observed. Both of them are being filmed by different cameras displayed on tube screens in the control board. With a closer look at the wall on the right, we can see 3 clocks showing different US time zones: Honolulu, Hawaii, Fresno, California, and New York City, New York. The first Easter egg is that these clocks show not only the time zones, but the birthplaces of Bruno, who was born in Honolulu, and Gaga, who was born in New York City. Fresno, California is the one place that I haven't found any connections to, apart from that Fresno is perfectly in between the time zones, 3 hours behind Honolulu and 3 hours before New York. But this is where I stumbled upon. If it's close to 3 o'clock in Honolulu and correctly close to 6 o'clock in Fresno, it should be shortly before 9 o'clock in New York, but the clock on the wall shows shortly before 7 o'clock. Is this a mistake that happened as they intentionally choose the time zones, or is this actually a hint that close to 7 on Gaga's New York clock means that we are not far away from LG7, Gaga's highly anticipated 7th studio album? Number 3. The producers. Another thing you might have missed is the fact that the 4 producers of the song can be seen in the music video. Besides Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga that co-produced the song and are obviously starring in the music video, the producer D-Mile, who has worked on projects of Mars in the past, has a cameo. He can be seen playing the drums in the back, which is a nice Easter egg, as D-Mile was credited additionally as songwriter and playing the bass and drums of the record as well. Furthermore, the producer Andrew Watt, who was rumored as one of Gaga's main producers for a highly anticipated upcoming 7th studio album, is featured in the video. Similar to D-Mile, Watt was credited as producer, songwriter and playing the guitar, and therefore can be seen playing this instrument in the background of the music video as well. Number 4. Joker Folie Deux references. Although the sequel of the highly successful Joker movie is not even out yet, it seems obvious that Lady Gaga couldn't resist putting in some Easter eggs in the music video. It is no surprise though, as the Grammy and Oscar winning songstress and actress is starring beside Joaquin Phoenix as the co-star of the movie portraying Harley Quinn. Besides the title Die With A Smile, an obvious reference to the Joker character associated with his most known feature of smiling and causing death and havoc, there are more references to the upcoming film. From the 2 trailers already released, there are many scenes in which Joker and Harley Quinn can be seen performing at a television studio set similar to the one in the music video with Bruno Mars. In another scene, Lady Gaga's character watches the Joker on a TV screen through a shop window and shortly after breaks the window to steal the TV from the display. As part of this song's promotion, Gaga's and Mars teams opened up pop-up stores in different cities worldwide using tube TV screens behind display windows, such as seen in the Joker trailer, once again connecting the movie to the song. Although the thought comes to one's mind that Die With A Smile could be written in the creation of the soundtrack for Joker Folie Deux, Gaga states the following in an interview with Pitchfork. "I was finishing up my own album. Bruno asked me to come to a studio to hear something he was working on. I was blown away when I heard what he had started making. We stayed up all night and finished writing and recording the song." This statement debunks the rumor of any conceptual involvement of the song to the movie. Maybe the connections to the Joker movies are just a coincidence, or some Easter eggs from Gaga to her little monsters. Number 5. Cold War references. Apart from the bright and colorful retro aesthetic of the music video, the song and visuals might indicate something far deeper. Although Die With A Smile may sonically be an uplifting love song that seems straight out of the 70s, the songwriting reveals far more. If we have a closer look at the lyrics, it's not only describing the love to the significant other, but describing it in the face of death. Bruno is singing in the first verse about a dream where he apparently died and had to say goodbye to his lover. In the pre-chorus, he continues to sing about nobody's promised tomorrow, as well as love you every night like it's the last night, continuing continuing to reference the inevitability of death. This memento mori, the continuous reminder of mortality, can be heard throughout the song and finds its climax and explanation through the chorus. As the first line of the chorus references the end of the world, describing an apocalyptic scenario happening, both singers state they want to be next to one another. They continue reassuring their love even if their time on Earth was through, so they could hold each other and die with a smile. Summarized, the two protagonists confess that their love to each other roots so deep that they even want to be together in the inevitability of death caused by an event destroying our world and society we know of nowadays. But what kind of event could they be talking about? And why do they sing about something so dark counterparted by the bright music video and romantic love song? The answer to this gives us Gaga in the second verse of the song. She's hinting at the uselessness of war by saying, all love's the only war worth fighting for, also tying together the cause of these thoughts of mortality tied to their love, which is the fear of war. In my interpretation, Lady Gaga's and Bruno Mars' Die With A Smile is not only using the soundscape and visuals of the 1960s and 1970s, but they also use the body of thought of this time period in the songwriting of the song. Let me explain what I mean by that by having a closer look at the historic context. The Cold War, that primarily happened between the United States and NATO allies on the one side and the Soviet Union and Warsaw Pact allies on the other side, started shortly after World War II ended in 1945 and spanned over 4 decades. This Cold War was called Cold because it was mainly an arms race between the two biggest military nations back then, fighting the different beliefs of democracy and communism. Although many proxy wars such as the Korean War in 1950 resulted from this Cold War, the situation that brought the world to the brink of a nuclear war goes back to 1962. Known as the Cuban Missile Crisis, a standoff between the US and the Soviet Union over Soviet missiles in Cuba brought the world closest to a dispute between both nations that could have caused a world war with atomic weapons and apocalyptic consequences. With the involvement of the US in the Vietnam War during the 1960s and 1970s, motivated by preventing the spread of communism, wars and the fear of nuclear wars was an everyday thought in the US. It's undoubtedly that the Cold War significantly influenced society, culture, politics and technology during the 1960s and 70s, something Gaga and Mars heavily influenced in their songwriting and therefore included the trend signs of their existence and love. This theory gets even more strengthened by the fact that apart from the artists and their band, no other humans can be seen. Instead, faceless mannequins are standing behind the cameras as well as sitting on chairs, representing the audience in the studio. An imagery that eerily resembles mannequins of the doomed towns. Build up fake cities that were used by atomic tests as a way to understand the radiation effects back then. These mannequins placed in the background and shadows of the music video are an ominous visualization of the fear of a nuclear threat representing everyday life back in the 60s. The whole video and song might even be a commentary of Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga's view on our today's world, facing our daily life while getting news about global wars. With the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Russian-Ukrainian war, the Afghanian conflict as well as other civil wars, Die With A Smile is not only a love letter to the significant other, but maybe also a love letter to the world if she's ready listening. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you leave, I would appreciate your support for this channel and format. So if you want to support me and my channel to continue doing this content, I would really appreciate your membership to my Patreon for a very small price. Besides supporting me financially, you're getting early access to my content before anyone else. Thank you so much for everyone that is supporting me. The programs and equipment I use for creating these videos are not cheap. I really love doing these videos as a hobby and as a service to the fan base, but unfortunately I don't earn enough money so that it covers my expenses. You can still help me by subscribing to my channel, liking and sharing my videos, as well as ringing the bell for new content of mine. But what are your thoughts on the Die With A Smile song and music video? Are there any clues that I missed? If you're interested in more Lady Gaga and Lady G7 content, check out my other videos on YouTube Shorts, as well as my TikTok or X for more Gaga news. Thanks for watching and see you next time around for more Pop Explained.